Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500 and welcome back to day 2 on Project Stinky Ella. Now, bit of an issue on this video, I will explain all. Some of you know about this bit of an issue. We've got some lost files and so on and so forth, so stick with me, let's go. I'll explain what happened on day 2 of Stinky Ella. This is all clean, all this plastic's down here is clean. I haven't done the dash or any of that sort of stuff, and I'm not going to put the back seat in, because another thing I'm going to do today is we've got flashing mileage. I need to, once I've got the seats back in, the front seats back in, we'll get multi-ECU scan booted up, and we'll have a look and see whether that Blue and Me is working or not. I haven't tried it yet. If not, whilst we've got the back seats out, we might as well get that panel off and get the Blue and Me out, and then I can repair it and put it back again. Might as well do that at this point. So yeah, so let's get the seats back in. I'm not going to bother filming it. We'll get the seats back in and then we'll come back. Right, that's the seats back in. Some of the leather is going to need going over again. It's a bit on the ground inside in some places, so I'm going to use some proper leather cleaner on it. But the actual seats themselves have come out okay. There are a couple of little bits which are a bit on the brown side, which I think it was never going to get out. But again, I will try. I'll use that foam stuff from the Simonized stuff. That's normally quite good with a scrubbing brush, so we'll go over that again. Just a few little bits and pieces, nothing much. All the suede's come up quite nice, the Alcantara, whatever you like to call it. That's all come up nice. Generally they're all right. There's just a couple of little bits that are a little bit grubby, but obviously they'll get another proper clean, not say proper clean, another wipe over once we finish the car. But we had to get this interior done. Now just having a sniff. When I first got in here this morning, you could still smell dog. Nowhere near as bad, but you could still smell it. Now I've had the car open and the seats back in, I can't smell it. So I am going to get the old ozone killer in there, but I'll wait until I've got the back seats in. But now we've got those seats in, we've got them all connected up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get the computer, and I'm going to link up multi-ECU scan, as I said, see if the Blue and Me is working. Might just need a proxy alignment. If not, I'll get that out and take that out. Right, we are loaded with multi-ECU scan. I've not done any scanning of this at all, but as you know, there we go, as we've already explained, I don't need to explain it again. We've got flashing mileage, but I thought while I'm here, I might as well do the usual sort of checks. So we'll come back to the Blue and Me in a minute. We'll have a look at the instrument panel first, make sure there's no errors on that. And the body computer and airbag and so on. Airbag light's now gone off because obviously the seats have been put back in. Right, let's have a look at the errors. Convergence node, oh, we know what that is then, let's clear that error. I think it's going to be naff, and it's going to be broke. Yeah, still shows present. We'll try, we'll give it a go anyway. So body computer, we'll connect to that first. The reason I'm chortling is because of course I can fix them now, whereas before it used to cost me £98, £78 plus £15 return postage, I think it was, something like that. It was approaching £100 anyway, and now of course I can do it for myself. Oh of course. There's no lights in there, of course, is there? So that's why that's present open circuits and so on. We should still be able to do that shouldn't affect a proxy alignment. Let's just check. Actually, let's have a quick look at the service. See, actually no, we won't worry about that in a moment. Airbag, I'm not expecting to see anything on the airbag. Airbags, there's no airbag errors. Now I've put the seats back in, connected them up, so we should be okay there. Go away, virus protection. Errors. Intermittent. Now that's because the seats have been out, so we can clear those. They're gone. Right, okay. Right, let's attempt the proxy alignment. So I think we can safely say it's going to fail, but we'll give it a go anyway. and if it can't connect to it, then obviously it's broken. Oh, it has. Oh no, hang on, we've gone body computer, haven't we? Oh, it says it's been removed, so yeah, I think we can safely assume. Let's just disconnect from there. What we should have done, of course, is go to dashboard and actually connect to the Blue and Me. We didn't try and do that. We know it's going to fail, but we've got to go through the motions. Yeah, connection failed. No response from module. That's because it's broken. But we will go through, as I say, it's going to fail. But we'll do it anyway. This may stop the mileage from flashing, because if it's a successful proxy alignment, which it can be, if it thinks that the actual, rather than the thing just being damaged, if it can't connect to it, it thinks it's not there. So that's why it's flashing the mileage. And by doing a proxy alignment, if it works, it will remove it, so the mileage will start flashing. However, of course, your Blue and Me still won't work. So when you repair it, you put it back in, you do another proxy alignment, and then it will rewrite the file to the body computer that the Blue and Me is back again. So yeah, that will all work fine and dandy. It's not going to work, I know. Right into dashboard node at the moment. As I say, we know it's not going to work, but we've got to go through the motions of trying it. But at least I've got the seats out, so it's easier to get the panel off. I can get the panel right off and even get to the bolt properly as well. I will probably not do that today. You'll see it in this video following this, but oh look, yeah, so it has completed, yeah. Turn the key to off, press Y to continue, and then if we turn the key back on, let's shut the door, otherwise it's going to come up with door open. Check daytime running lights, yeah. I'm sure it used to work, you could cancel those out by pressing the stalk on the end. It doesn't ever seem to work now. Every time I do that on a car, you just have to wait for it to do it. There you go, 71,000, is it going to flash? No. But of course, we have no Blue and Me. So yes, it's broken. So I will get that out. We'll do a little bit of filming of that, getting that out. I won't show you it being repaired, because it's not very much to look at. And also, of course, that's my little business now, so I'm not going to be showing you how I do it. Much to your disgust, I'm sure. Right, so I have just started doing a video on repairing the Blue and Me. As you know, I repair the Blue and Me units now, and as I had one that wasn't working on this car, I thought I'd do a short video on it. It doesn't show you how to get it out. I've got other videos on how to do that, but I thought I'd get this done now and do a video at the same time. So I've taken it out. What I discovered was it was disconnected. So I reckon it's probably been causing a parasitic drain in this car, and so whoever it was, someone has been in there and unplugged it, which is what I tell people to do, of course. So now I'm going to go and see if I can fix it. Right, that is all repaired now. It's just got to go back into the car. Because I did a proxy alignment which stopped the mileage flashing, I will have to reconnect to it and then do another proxy alignment for it to work. Otherwise I'll plug it in and it won't work, because the body computer thinks it's been deleted. So yeah, we just need to do that. I will test it. I don't want to put it all back together first and then find out that it don't work. It will work because I've just repaired it, but yeah, I'll do that and then we'll come back. Right, it's all back together inside. Bluetooth is all tested and working. Took 3 goes to do a proxy alignment, which it sometimes does. I often tell people that it takes sometimes takes more than 1 go. Basically you have to make sure there's no errors on anything else, and because the proxy alignment, it doesn't fail, it completes, but the mileage still flashes, and then when you go back to the body computer it shows a proxy configuration control error, so you have to keep clearing that until eventually it just picks it up. It took 3 goes this time. Sometimes it takes more. So unfortunately these are a little bit on the scratched up side. I have cleaned that one. I haven't cleaned, well, I did clean the other one earlier on. Now I have got some spare sport parts up in the loft, and I know I've got side panels, although they're dirty, they're okay. I'm not sure I've got those. Probably not, because actually that screw, where that screw's on there, the screw's broken off. I am going to have a look and see if I have got any. I don't think I have, because they're black ones. But if I have, then I'll change them. If not, I'll just have to try and clean them up a bit more. But they're not too bad, but they are a bit grubby where that bloody dog's been there. Right, what I'm going to finally do now, I just started taking bits out the car that were in the boot. I'm going to get the back seats in. That was a reason for getting that done today, because I wanted to get the back seats back in, get some out the garage then. So I'll give this another clean up first. Still filthy, that one. I say I have cleaned both, but it's bloody dog, isn't it, that's been in the back of this dog wagon. When I got in the car earlier on, I haven't been in the car for probably the best part of 2 weeks. Absolutely stinks still. Not nowhere near as bad as it was, obviously. I've cleaned the seats, I've cleaned the carpets, cleaned everything apart from the roof lining. That's about the only thing I haven't cleaned. That was absolutely rotten, and behind it, when I took that out, there was even dog hair there. So I think it's going to be a challenge to get this completely smell free, but because I've got the ozone generator, I'm hoping that might do the trick. Fingers crossed. So although I got this car cheap, it's certainly got its issues, isn't it? Mainly because it was a dog wagon, but of course no one else bidding knew that, of course. It's just luck of the draw, isn't it? But again, you know, this is rotten. I will try and clean it. I'll take it off and try and clean it. I've got stuff blowing up the driveway now, the bloody wind. But again, it's pot luck, isn't it? I've cleaned it there. It's, yeah, if I can get one, if I've got one in the loft, I'll use it. I'm not going to buy another one. I will just try and scrub it as much as I can. Everything's back in now. I've even changed the rear light as well, because you know that was broken. When I took the old one off, all that water came out of the hole because it had a little hole just there. So the rain had got into that big time. So we're getting there. We are getting there. In that box is the condenser. Obviously that's the water bottle off the car, because I've taken it off for the chassis leg. I swapped this over on the Arbath, because this is broken, this one. Those bits in there are broken, so I have fixed them in the past with using washers, so I need to redo it on that one, or if I happen to have a black one in the loft, I'll use that. But I think we're done for now. So the rear seat, I've just placed it in position at the moment. I haven't bolted it in because I'm going to take it out again, because I'm going to do something else on this car, which will be revealed in a separate video. Oh, hello mate, yeah. Thank you. Paul. Want a signature? No? Thank you mate, thanks a lot. Another wing, which I don't know which one this is. This is going to be probably going to be the red one. Can't see it through here. Morning, welcome back. Despite my glasses being dark, it's a horrible, drizzly, nasty, cold day. Another spring day in Britain. Car's been sitting on the drive for quite a while we've been finishing off other projects. We've since bought another 2 projects, one of which at the time of recording you know about, one you don't. Still smells of dog in there a bit. I haven't done anything with the headlining, and I will do something with that. I'm not quite sure what, but I might use some G101 on that and just sort of wipe it over. As you know, I've cleaned the seats, I've cleaned the carpet with a wet vac. So, I mean, it is fresher than it was, but it still smells. Some of the reason for that will be, it's got an air freshener in there as well, but it's some of that is because it's been sitting there pretty much, you know, not used, locked up for probably the best part of 3 weeks, I think. And I've not really done anything with it. I've taken it from here to in front of the house and vice versa. That's it. So, as you know, I've got an ozone generator, which someone on the channel recommended I bought some time ago when I had a smelly car. And although it leaves the car with a really strange smell, it gets rid of the odours. Now, I'm going to put it in there for an hour. You shouldn't be in there because it is actually dangerous. And then I think you're supposed to vent the car out afterwards. I'm not going to be using the car, so I'm going to stick it in there for an hour, see what happens. Now, when I've used these in the past, I've used that first, then I've used the fog machine. And when I've finished with the fog machine, which as you know has got some really nice flavours, it doesn't smell. So I think what the ozone does is it also, because it's eliminating bacteria, i.e. that's how it gets rid of the smells, it also eliminates the fragrance of the air fresheners. And it takes quite some time before you can actually have an air freshener in there that you can smell. It's really quite bizarre. So I thought I'd get that done now, sooner rather than later, fingers crossed, and hope that it gets rid of the smell. So I'm just going to grab it out of the garage, get it plugged in, and I've showed you it before, but I'll show you the machine again. Right, here's the machine. Read carefully. This commercial air cleaner is for use in unoccupied space only. Close all doors and windows in the space to be treated. Make certain all occupants and pets have been removed. Excess ozone concentrations can cause mucous membrane and respiratory irritation. Turn off the dial and ventilate the area after sanitising to reduce the risk of electrical shock. Do not remove the cover. So there it is. It goes up to 120 minutes. I'm going to put it on for an hour. Yeah, 60 minutes. So, I'd say it has got a really peculiar smell. But what we'll do, I'm actually working today. Haven't started work yet, but I'm working at home today. So I thought what I'd do, I'll stick it on for an hour, and then I'll switch it off, and then maybe lunchtime I'll come out and have a little sniff and see if the smell's gone. It's going to have that horrible smell. Right, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours has gone past. Hopefully it switches itself off after an hour. It's actually still going. Oh, blimey. Oh, dear. It smells very ozone-y in here. I'll switch that off. So that's, I wonder why that hasn't switched itself off. So it's been going a couple of hours, but apart from the fact it's a bit coffee. You know, the smell, a bit coffee. The smell reminds me a little bit, you know when you were a kid and you walked into a swimming baths, and it's almost that sort of smell, but a lot stronger. That smell of chlorine. It's almost like that. Oh, blimey. Yeah, we'll obviously we'll vent this out tomorrow because it's still a miserable day now. God, I can smell it outside of the car now. It's a really bizarre smell. Yeah, hopefully that will do the trick though. I'm glad I came out here now as it hadn't actually switched itself off. Yeah, so fingers crossed. That is now all sorted. We'll give it a few days and see if we can still smell it. And obviously in a couple of weeks' time what I'll do is I'll stick the old smoke machine in there as well, and hopefully that will then leave it with a nice smell rather than a strange smell. But yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, I imagine. So, you can hear the sirens. That's because this is an emergency. It's not really, but today is the day. The day has come to see if we can straighten this chassis leg. I'm all prepped. I'm ready to go. Let me show you what I'm going to try. Fingers crossed that by the end of the day we have a nice straight chassis leg and we've got the front panel on. We can only hope. Let's show you. Right, okay, so to start with, what I've done is I've jacked the car up. I've then put the chocks underneath the tyres, and then I've let the car down onto the tyres. The theory of that is if I'm pushing the car, that will hopefully prevent the car from going sideways. And here we are, this is what we're doing. So, we're going to push off the house wall. I've got a couple of offcuts of quite old scaffold boards, so they may just fall apart and split. I have got other bits of wood. I've got a couple of bits of compressed, wood, whatever you call it, off of pallets. Again, they'll probably just split. I've got all of the extension bars onto the porta power, and we're not that far away from the wall. So scaffold boards in there, and then we start to push, and hopefully that will help. So obviously we've got to heat it up first. So I don't know whether it's going to work or not. One of the subscribers told me off because I had pipes from aircon that are open to the world, and they've said if you get water in there your system's knackered. So I have put some bags over it with cable ties to keep any moisture out. Whether it's too late or not remains to be seen, we don't know, but hopefully it's okay. But that's the least of my worries at the moment, is this. So we sort of know. I haven't taken measurements yet. I'm going to try and get it visually right if I can. It may not move at all. Haven't been able to get a scaffold pole. Yeah, yeah, so I'm going to try doing it this way. It may not work. What I was going to do, we are at a bit of an angle. What I was going to try doing is, I may even do this, we may change it. That's in the way a little bit. So, because I was going to go straight across over the top of that chassis leg. I don't know whether this is going to work. This may well just slip off. There is a stud there, which might hopefully stop it. I'm not sure which head I should be using. There are obviously different heads. I'm going to start with that one, see what happens. Yeah, I don't know whether this is going to work or not, but I've got to try it. So, I'm going to set you up on time lapse. I'm going to heat it up first, then I'll set you up on time lapse, and then we'll give it a try, see what happens. Keep your fingers crossed with me. Here we go, let's do it. Right, I think I've admitted defeat. I don't think it's going to work. It was worth a try. I think it's moved a little bit, but the problem with it is, which I did suspect it might do, is it's not so much pushing the car sideways, but it's actually moving the car on the suspension. So the port of power is, whatever I do, however much wood I put behind it, it's reaching the end of its push and can't go any further. So I put another bit of wood in, it does the same thing because it's moving this car on the body on the suspension rather than moving that, which I never actually thought about that. I thought it was going to be more the car moving sideways, which it's not doing, probably because I've chocked those wheels there. So I think the only thing I can do is get my mobile mechanic to, I think I've got one, I think I've got a chassis leg. I think I'm going to get him to cut this one out and weld a new one in for me. As I say, I have done it myself in the past, but my welding was awful. It was strong, but it was not, it wasn't pretty. But he can do welding properly, so I think I'll get him to do it. I'm just going to check to see, I think I've still got it. I don't think I dumped it. If not, I'm going to buy one. Yeah, annoying, very annoying, but there you go. So we did have the ozone generator in here, as you know. Still smells a bit doggy in here, I'm afraid. It does still. I'm going to try cleaning the headline in as well. I don't know where the smell's coming from. I've cleaned the carpets, I've cleaned the seats, I've cleaned everything in the back. I haven't cleaned the dash as such, but you know, chances are it's impregnated into that as well. But it might be the headline in, so I'm going to give that a bit of a spruce up somehow. I don't quite know how I'm going to do it yet. I'm not going to. I can't use the wet vac on it. I don't know. We'll figure out something to use on it. I mean, once it's all been shut up as well, of course. So that doesn't help. Maybe once it's aired out and it's being used a little bit more, it might be okay. In hindsight, you know what? I wish I'd used this as my van. I could have done that, but now I've bought lots of parts for it. I've spent quite a bit of money on it, even though I got the car really cheap, didn't I? But that's what I should have done. But the reason I'm sitting in the car now, apart from waffling to you, is I've got a new Speedo. As you know, the Speedo was Donald ducked. So we've got a temporary Speedo in there at the moment, which is just the actual, I'll show you, let me show you. That's literally just the actual thing itself, not in a case, which works, I think. I think it's got errors on it. It does work. I think the screen works. Does the screen work? Oh no, maybe not. Thought it did actually. Maybe not. So I'm not sure. If you put a screen that's not compatible with a Speedo, I've got a feeling it breaks it, because I thought it was a coincidence once before when I did it, and I had a thing where I had a working screen and I put it in a different Speedo, which didn't work. When I put it back into the original one, it didn't work again. And I've had that happen again. Now, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I'm not going to do that anymore, because unless I know that it's out the same sort. It was a bit strange how it stopped working, but I'm going to swap this Speedo over now anyway. So it's fixed into not fixed into position. It's just sitting there loosely. But this is it's in really nice condition actually. It's out of a 2013 car, and it is a sport one, as you can see. Let's fire it up, which has done 36,000 miles. Now we're going to hope start the engine actually. Nothing wrong with the battery in this car. Right, indicate left. Yeah, no flashing lights. I will come out and check it in the dark, but it all seems to be okay. Yeah, I can't see any lights glowing. Check engine. Why is it coming up check engine anyway? I don't know. It's a bit worrying actually. It came up before the other day. I'm wondering whether it's a lambda sensor or something. But start stop unavailable. Yeah, lots of things coming up. That's something we won't worry about that at the moment. Obviously, once we get the engine, once we get all the front panel on, we'll cross that bridge as and when. There's no lights in it. That's why it's coming out with all those things. There's no lights. There's no lights in the bumper or anything like that. It's just a bumper that's been slung on just to protect it from the weather. Check right hand side turn light. Yeah, got none of those. But yeah, it seems okay. Seems okay. I cannot see anything flashing. The only reason that's flashing quick like that is because there's no indicator. Right, that's the first one done. I suppose that's taken about half an hour, something like that. Seemed to fit okay. You never know when you get second-hand wings, whether they've been, you saw the way that I pulled it off. And obviously, if they're going to reuse them, they're going to be a little bit more careful and cut the sealant. I always just use a knife. I should use a multi-tool really to cut it. And I might actually do that on the other one, because on the other side, although I'm replacing it, it is potentially repairable, and I wouldn't mind actually experimenting, pulling it, using the old welder thing maybe to pull it and fill it, and then try painting it just as an experiment, and then I'd have a good wing for in future. But it seems to match all right actually. Now this is why I try and get one. So this is what, a 2013 car. I think this wing also came off of a 2013 car. So whenever I buy red, especially red, I try and get it from the same or very, very close, you know, a year either side if I can, because with colour changing, and I won't say fading on this colour because it doesn't tend to fade, it changes colour, it tends to get darker. If I sort of look really closely, you can see a difference, but you know, I mean, both are dirty. Strangely enough, the mud splatter on the new wing looks like it was there when the mud splatter was done. Strangely enough, but yeah, I think it's okay. It's pretty good. Gap seems all right. It may need some adjusting because I had to adjust the front bracket slightly. I had to loosen that off and adjust that. So I can't adjust it properly because, as we know, the bonnet needs to be adjusted, bumper needs to go on, and so on and so forth. The lights in, and that's obviously, putting the lights in is always a good tester of whether it fits properly or not. But this all seems good up here. I'll replace this. I've put it back on for now, but this rubber's all perished and it's just horrible. So I will replace that at some point. I think I might have some, I'm not sure. If not, I'll get some. I'll search through my stock, see what I've got, but I'm pretty sure I've got some of those. Might have gloss ones though. Yeah, so that's that side done. Indicators was plugged in. I plugged the indicator repeater bulb in before I hung the wing. All the bolts are done up. Yeah, good. I think what we'll do now is I've only put 3 bolts in. I'm not going anywhere, so I haven't put the locking wheel nut in. I've just put the 3 in. We'll get it down and we'll move it over a little bit, and then we'll do the other side as well. I've decided I'm gonna do these discs and pads. The pads are all right. Pads have got quite a lot of life left in them. Where's my torch gone? No, that's disappeared. Oh, it's over there in the garage. But yeah, no, there's loads of life in the pads, but these discs are quite. Back of them's all right, but the front of them, I'm not sure you can see. Fairly. Actually, some of it is the like the rust on the top. Once you peel that off, the lip goes down a little bit, but it is a little bit lipped. I'll check that on the other one actually, because once you take that top piece off, they're not too bad lip-wise. But I'm probably going to change them, more than likely. I broke this the other week when my sister-in-law's one was. It does look a bit black, doesn't it? But yeah, I broke the bloody thing, so I might get a new one of those. I don't think I've got. No, I haven't got one. I did have one ages ago, but I sold it. So yeah, I'll probably get one of those as well, rather than try and glue it back on. I'm not going to try and. Oh, look, fixed. Oh, not for long. Yeah, no, I think I'll probably get a new one rather than stick a lot of people you see put cable ties around them. It's a bit of a bodget and scarper, isn't it? Don't like that. This has had a new thermostat very recently, by the looks of it. Very recently, which is good. It's something I've not got to do. The clutch feels a little bit on the stiff side, so I'm probably going to lube it up at the very least. Might change the what do you call it, the slave cylinder potentially. I seem to be doing that a lot recently. I will be putting another earth cable on, so battery tray's all going to come out anyway, so we'll have a look at that, see if we can lighten the clutch up a little bit. I don't know if it's because the last car I had was a very, very light clutch. It was the blue car, it was a lovely clutch on that. This one just feels a bit heavy. Again, it could be because it's been sitting around for ages. You know, I've had it for over 2 months and it's just been sitting about, but we'll see. If we need to change it, we'll change it. Doing quite a lot on this car, although it's not actually costing very much money, surprisingly. And don't forget, I did get this car dirt cheap as well, didn't I? Absolute bargain. 875 quid, wasn't it? Something like that. Anyway, let's get on with this wing. We'll come back when it's done, and then we'll make a decision if we're going to do anything else. So I think I'm going to do that little cowling, get that fixed. But yeah, we'll be back once this wing's on as well. Right, there's the other wing on. Again, it's fitted quite nicely. And again, I did have to move the bracket, undo the bracket. You often have to do that, and you can adjust them. They are a little bit adjustable, but of course I can't adjust it properly. Again, same as the other side, is because until we get the front panel on and get the headlights in, etc., etc., and how the bumper fits, we can't adjust it to suit. So it's basically fallen in its natural position of where it sits. Done all the bolts up, and then if we have to come back and adjust it later, which I'm sure we will, then that's what we'll have to do. I've got one more bolt to put in on the inside of the door, which I'll do in a minute. Again, good colour match, actually a better colour match than the other one. Now, difference in parts. So the other part was okay. That was bought by someone I bought before. I bought seats from him before and so on eBay. This one has come from ASM. Can't remember the difference in price. Chances are this one was more money. It had an ASM sticker on it, quality approved, or whatever it says, quality checked. It's got their sticker on there saying Fiat 500 right hand wing 2014. So again, I bought it off of a car of the same age. It already had one of those on it, so it either come off of an Abarth or a Sport, so I don't know which, I can't remember. It actually got the car registration number there that it's come off of, which is good, OY14VWW, which of course you can check if you want to. But it is in beautiful condition and it's clean. Tiniest of little marks have been marked by them, which will all polish out. Tiny little marks, which will polish out. Now, if you remember, I thought I'd bought initially I thought I'd bought the other side, and so I bought this one, and then I couldn't remember, and I thought I was buying the other side, but I actually bought 2 for this side. Now I'm really glad I did, because the other one I bought, which I unpacked first, now I can't remember what it looked like in the picture, but look at the state of it. It's completely covered. It's got tape on there, which will probably, I mean, if we heat it up, it might come off. A nice little heart badge there. It is absolutely covered in scratches. This would have to be completely repainted. Absolutely covered, filthy dirty, covered in scratches. Who's it come from? Does it say on this label? It's upside down. Overton Automotive. It's come off of a pop. I don't want to slag them off too much, because you know, I would have looked at the picture, but I certainly don't. If I had seen this in great detail, unless I thought to myself at the time, maybe that was the first one I bought, and I thought to myself, well, I can't find another one, we'll get that one, we'll have to paint it if necessary. I mean, it's got all this tape, so I imagine that was from a smashed window or something, and it's been taped down. So that's got to be taken off, which will probably take the paint off. And it is completely covered in scratch, so that was completely useless. You know, if I get a red car in the future and it needs bodywork done, and I'm going to have the side of the car painted, I'll stick that one on and they can paint that as well. But apart from that, complete waste of money. So I'm going to look back at the eBay listing of that, and I'll let you know. I'll show you what it looked like on the eBay listing. As I say, I might be doing them a disservice. Maybe that's, I bought it like that, or maybe the pictures weren't very good. Don't know, but chalk and cheese. The ASM one and that, crap compared to this, which is almost like a new wing. And I bet you there weren't that much difference in the price either. I'll let you know. Yeah, anyway, that's that done. That is a job that I have now not got to do when eventually we get this bloody chassis leg done. We've got these scratches to do, those scratches, that scratch along there. We've got a tiny little dent here, which I'm not going to try and fill or pull out. I don't think it'll pull out. I'm just going to cover that up with paint. I'm not going to mess around. Mirrors are all okay, glass is all okay. Obviously it needs a damn good clean. The other thing that we pointed out right at the very beginning when we first got this, there's something going on with this rear bumper. The gaps are a bit iffy here. So something has happened to this, and there is a very slight dent in it just there. Scratches to sort out. So what we'll do is we'll get that bumper off, have a look underneath. I don't think there's going to be any broken tabs or anything like that, but we'll get the bumper off, we'll have a good look, we'll give it a good clean up underneath, and then we'll put it back, and hopefully we can put it back straighter than it's on at the moment. But we'll do that probably quite near the end, I would imagine. I think pretty much, unless I'm sure there are other bits that I've forgotten about, but I think that's pretty much all there is. So that's it on this one. Sorry it was a bit disjointed. I've cobbled together as much as I could save from those lost files, but at least we've got something there for you. I've already got some footage in the can for the next video, and when I start recording now, that will be going on the end of that. So hopefully it wasn't too disjointed for you, and I'll see you on the next one. So don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and until the next one on this car, as always, thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.